Good afternoon, and thank you all for your time. Uh, we would say that this budget has been focused on growth, inclusivity, and Yuva Shakti. I'd say in an era of unprecedented change and turmoil outside of the world, India has emerged as a stable macroeconomic force. This budget has only reinforced that view. It's a budget that reflects continuity and stability. The areas which the government has been speaking on over the years continues to get that focus. The few areas of focus that we have captured, one is continued focus on reform. Second, focus on infra investment continues. Particularly few areas that excited us was on data centers. These are large investments that will happen and will provide employment, large capital inflows into the country. Second is waterways, which will lead to simple and sustainable movement of goods. The third area of focus is its continued focus on the manufacturing sector. Very thoughtfully, there are areas that have been focused, the 7 strategic sectors. We were very encouraged to see the focus on biopharma, which is a reflection of focus on health as chronic disease, cancer, other diseases come up. The focus on biopharma will have a very positive effect and plays to the strengths of our country. Also a focus on future sectors. A rare earth corridor is very strategic to us. Continuation of the semiconductor mission into ISM2 and focus on the micros of labor intensive sectors such as textile, leather, marine. These are areas which have got impacted in the recent past because of tariffs. To that extent, some relief is provided there too. On inclusiveness, continued focus on areas such as tourism and healthcare with high focus on skilling and job creation. It was also very positive and pleasant to hear about focus on ease of living with citizen centricity, city development and transportation getting focus. Foreign investment has also got fair focus, whether it is making life for NRIs easier, possibly an effort to get foreign talent back and making investments in India more easy. Data center once again will be a very positive foreign investment with the tax holiday that they would be getting. A high level committee on banking will also hopefully reduce the regulatory stresses that are there today and make life ready for future banking needs. On the taxation, the focus has been a lot on ease of compliance, focus on giving more time on compliance, immunity scheme on foreign assets, positive changes on prosecution, giving more clarity, decriminalization, moving from penalties to fees. It is also clear that the IT Act will come into force now on April 1st. On indirect taxes, various concessions on nuclear, leather textile, civil aviation and such future areas of focus. I'd say at a macro level, what also was very encouraging was the continued focus on fiscal deficit. Finance Minister had made a commitment in 2021 to bring down fiscal deficit to 4.4% and that target has been met. This gives us huge confidence on stability and commitments being met and gives us further confidence that whatever is being committed now will also be met going forward. Thank you. We'll happy to get some views from the rest of the panel members as well. Puneet,
Thank you, Mr. President. I think the one word that comes to my mind is that, this is a very special budget and it's the ninth consecutive record budget of the Honorable Finance Minister, and also the first budget which was made in Kartavya Bhavan. So it is very special. And I think the one word that comes to my mind is certainty and growth. India is a very certain stable economy in a world which is filled with chaos and uncertainty, and it offers certainty, security and growth to investors. So I also think that there is a continuation of the vision of building India towards 2047 Viksit Bharat and an Atmanirbhar Bharat. So a lot of building blocks are continuously being put in place with a very strong foundation for growth in strategic sectors like manufacturing. Our president spoke about it, the 7 strategic sectors. Then also job creation, lot of stuff on MSMEs, tourism, and areas where India has a competitive advantage. For example, even the healthcare, Ayurveda, which is ancient India and modern India together. I also thought that there was, one more thing very interesting, that India is offering, lot of attraction now for foreign investors in future-ready areas like data centers. These are very large investments, and ease of doing business for people who are living overseas. And I think that should help more to attract more foreign investments in India. I would just say lastly that I feel that this is a budget which is filled with achhi niyat, because it's from a bhav of kartavya, and अच्छी नियत से अच्छी नीतियाँ बनती हैं और उससे अच्छा भविष्य तय होता है. So I think I'm very happy to see continuity, I'm very happy to see discipline, and I'm very happy to see growth and low inflation with a very broad-based thought process. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to comment?
I think I'll only add that this budget also realizes the importance of providing a huge self-employment generation for youth in rural areas, in tier 2 cities. So the idea that government can provide jobs is not the solution, I think, and they rightly are emphasizing on self-employment, where millions of young men and women will find opportunities, become either entrepreneurs, risk takers, and I'm not talking about the people sitting on the dais, but people in rural areas. So I think focus on the right.
I just mentioned the one initiative on basically growing the REITs that we have in the country, and by government pushing its own, which is the public sector enterprises, to put assets into REITs. It's a very good way of raising money by recycling of good assets. And I think that the fact that it gets mentioned, and it's very much in government's control, because it would focus on the public sector. And as the provision of REITs grows, private sector REITs will also certainly benefit from it. It would be REITs and InvITs. I think both structures would be used.
So just to add to something that our President mentioned, which is the continued focus on the manufacturing sector. So I think from that point of view, the rare earth mineral corridor is something which is very important to our manufacturing ambitions. Also, if you look at the announcement of the inland waterways allocation, I think that is again something which is important to continue to bring about an improvement in logistics costs. So these two areas stood out, and of course, from an inclusive growth point of view, not just the direct reference to, of course, access to resources and opportunities for all sections of society, and from a industry viewpoint, the support which is there in the budget for MSMEs by virtue of the equity support fund, etc. I think these are important measures which will ensure that growth is broad-based, is inclusive, and therefore more sustainable.
I think you've covered most of it. I will just reiterate a couple of words that the Finance Minister used, which gives a sense, which is about competitiveness, scaling, and she talked about the Reforms Express, which means continuity and reforms across the board, in ease of compliance, ease of doing business, in the continuing reforms on manufacturing, and she talked about structural reforms, robust financial sector, and cutting-edge technology. So this kind of encompasses a very wide range of things. And I think there's one other point which attracting foreign investment, both from an FDI as well as from other remittances, is important, because this has an impact on the rupee's behavior and the weakening rupee. So I think that is attempted to be addressed on some of this. The MSME focus. So, I mean, a lot has been said, but I just wanted to highlight these couple of things. Thanks.
All right. Thank you all very much for your time. I think we close this session. Thank you, Rajiv ji. Thank you all for your views. Now we go to media. 1:15.